Jambo my people, welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel. It's another episode again, and this is a continuation of the first episode that I did about the sand, and we have an environmental specialist here who is going to also tell us more about the sand harvesting. So your name?
My name is Lucas Abila. I work as an environmental expert, currently based in Siaya County, and it takes most part of my daily activities.
Okay, so Lucas, as an environmental specialist, what can you tell us about environment?
The environment is generally a wider part of our society. Everything that we interact with is part of the environment, from the soils, the trees, any other material, even human beings. Those are part of our environment. So anywhere you are, feel that you are in an environment, and you will get a better treatment of that part of the environment.
Okay, so if we narrow down to maybe sand harvesting, what can you tell us about sand harvesting?
Sand harvesting is a process of taking sand from a section of the land or a water body. Most people harvest sand from rivers. Some people also harvest sand from roadsides, so long as they can get a portion that is harvestable and can be used for commercial purposes or any other purposes.
Okay, so I know in any business there is always a commercial benefit. Can you tell us some of the commercial benefit of sand harvesting?
Of course, those who have a sand, they sell sand to those who build, and they make money from that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think in terms of harvesting sand?
Yes.
How does it affect the environment?
As you know, sand is part of soil. If you studied soil in school, then you're told that we have different types of soil. And sand is one of them. The process of soil formation, as you know, takes a lot of time, many years of time. Yeah? So for us to get sand, then it means this is soil that has been made for many years of time through erosion, through weathering processes. Now for this sand to come and gather in a certain place,
Okay, so sorry for the technical issue that we had. We were on the commercial benefits of sand.
Yes, I was explaining the process of sand formation, which comes from the process of weathering. Generally, when it rains, the floods wash out sand from different places, and they bring sand and deposit in a particular place, so that it can be found and be ready for collection. What happens in major rivers and streams, the running water carries sand from upstream to downstream, and then this sand is continually deposited in a certain place. When this deposition occurs, then the accumulated sand can be collected by sand harvesters. So sand harvesters have learned the process of getting sand from rivers, from streams, and they can actually tell where exactly they can find a good quality of sand. So they do this here for a long time, because the sand doesn't literally get depleted, because the process continues. As they harvest a portion, more deposition takes place, and they are able to get more sand from wherever they are doing the collection. What I can say is when sand is collected from a particular place, then it's like you are trying to dig a hole in a certain place, just trying to collect sand, like you can do even from terrestrial places, from land, from dry land. When you dig out a portion of soil, you leave behind a hole. And those holes, if they are left in a riverbed, if there are other activities that are supposed to take place, like recreational activities in those portions of the riverbeds, then they become areas that can easily cause accidents to people who are using those areas for recreational activities. Also, basically just destroying part of a riverbed is a cause of erosion, is a cause of destruction to a natural resource, because it interferes with the smooth flow of water in that particular section of the river. So sand harvesting should be done in a sustainable manner, in a manner that is not destroying the riverbed, is not destroying any part of the river, not interfering with the flow of water. Because one thing, if a section of a river or a stream is destroyed, then other things that we can get that are bad from that section of a river could be maybe flooding. If you destroy a river bank for the purpose of trying to harvest or get good entry to the river, then that section of the river can easily flood one day or another, which can easily affect other activities taking place on the river banks. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a good explanation for whoever is maybe viewing and want to venture into that business also. But what can you advise those who are, there are so many people who are doing sand harvesting, but they really don't know the deeper part of it, like a commoner somewhere who is maybe doing the sand harvest. What do you think you should advise them to be doing?
What I can advise sand harvesters generally in the country is to embark on sustainable sand harvesting practices. Sustainable sand harvesting practices are those practices that do not allow the harvester to destroy a riverbank, to destroy a riverbed, and ensure that the harvest is carried out in a manner that also encourages regenerative measures, so that they can be able to get sand when they go back again and again and again. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe one thing that you can tell the government in terms of sand harvesting. What can you tell the government of Kenya?
Sand is a very good commodity, especially for construction. And construction takes place anywhere. When you need building, sand is a major part of that. So sand harvesting should be controlled in a manner that it's built into an industry that is regulated, so that sand harvesting is done in a regulated manner. Sand harvesters are registered, maybe with the local authorities, so that the government knows such sections are designated for harvesting. And those designated sections for harvesting are also built in a manner that the harvesting process is done in a safe manner. It's done in a way that the harvesters, their health issues are taken care of. They have adequate personal protective gear, so that we also reduce the chances of or the risks of accidents that may take place in the process of harvesting, like people drowning in the process, people losing their lives in the process. And then the sections that are designated for sand harvesting should also be secured and provided with adequate amenities, adequate facilities, so that the process is carried out in a safe manner, sand is harvested in a safe manner, and we get the best quality of sand that is required to support building activities in the country.
Okay, now the last maybe question. As now environment specialist, I just want you to advise commoners, like generally, what exactly are they supposed to do to also help the government? That is the last question.
As a commoner, or kama mtu mwananchi yule mwenye anafanya sand harvesting.
Yeah. I think just generally.
Generally.
Yeah. Anybody can go there, throw some dust, so many things you get. So what exactly can you just advise generally as an environmental specialist?
Generally, as we know, we are all entitled to a clean environment. Yeah. I would say that whether you are harvesting sand or using sand as a buyer, or just somebody who is a neighbor to a place where sand harvesting is taking place, let's ensure that the environment, that part of the environment is clean, of course, people using those places, there are wastes that are generated. Let's ensure that waste in those areas are well managed, and the machines, the equipments that are used to harvest sand from those areas are not polluting our water bodies. Let's protect the river banks, the banks of the streams, the riparian areas, so that we protect the forest, because those are also catchment areas, so that we ensure that the whole ecosystem within the sand harvesting area is protected for a better future of us and a better future for the earth, Mother Earth. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think as we have heard, it is our responsibilities to take care of our environment, and to make sure wherever we are, Nisafi, it is clean, it is not littered all over. So thank you so much guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and let's meet in our next episode.